everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Well, the big weekend, that was a great weekend for me. It's finally wrapped up. By the way, if you come on here live tonight, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like, a thumbs up, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. And for all you people in South Carolina, this Saturday, I will be at the Edgewood Community Center Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock for a wrestling show. It'll be a live TV taping, and it is absolutely free. Hey there, Marcus. Glad you're here. Hey there, Kevron. Glad you're here. So if you watch this channel and you have subscribed to this channel and you live in South Carolina, I'd love to meet you Saturday at the Edgewood Community Center, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon for a live TV taping for some independent professional wrestling. But let's start with Friday night. That's when we had the truck race, which was called the Fresh from Florida 200. Now, the record book is going to show that Corey Heim, who I actually think is going to win the Craftsman Truck Series championship this year, won the race, followed by Giovanni Ruggiero, last year's Truck Series champion, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, and Justin Haley were the top five. And then 6 through 10 was Chandler Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Jason White, William Sawalik, and Frankie Muniz. And Frankie Muniz used to be an actor, and he has now transitioned to a full-time NASCAR driver. But the reason why I say the record books will show that Corey Heim won the race is because Corey Heim did not win the race. Actually, Parker Kligerman, who actually works TV for NASCAR, used to do NASCAR on Fox. He's also did some NASCAR on NBC. This year he's going to be part of the NASCAR on Amazon and TNT crew. Hey there, AV fan. Glad you're here. But Parker Kligerman, who used to run full-time in the Xfinity Series, retired from full-time racing to work more TV, is running a part-time schedule this year in the Craftsman Truck Series. He won the race Friday night, the Fresh from Florida 200, but he failed post-race inspection. So anytime a winner fails a post-race inspection, they always get disqualified and get credited for being dead last, and the driver that finishes in second gets credit for the win. So Corey Heim, record books wise, won the race, but Parker Kligerman won the race. And I listen to a lot of NASCAR radio, and they say that sometimes they'll make these drivers go through post-race inspection 4 or 5 times, because when you go through post-race inspection, you have to pass by a certain number. And if you pass by that number, then you're good to go. You're on through. But if you don't pass by that number, they'll make you go through inspection over and over and over again until they find what the issue is. So on one hand, you kind of give the drivers credit for trying, but on the other hand, you wonder, why are they trying when they're going to get caught? Hey there, Cecil. Glad you're here, but you hate it because you wonder, sometimes, they'll fail post-race inspection over the smallest stuff. And, you have to get on to them because they're cheating. But at the same time, you wonder, how much of an advantage did you really get, if any? So you may have, cost yourself an actual legit chance at winning the race by doing something to your truck or your car sometimes that didn't help you at all. Hey there, Stuffy Memes. Glad you're here. For all of you that are on here tonight, thank you for commenting. Hopefully you give the video a like and a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. And then Saturday at lunchtime, we had the ARCA race. Now, I don't really talk much ARCA on here, but since it's Daytona, I will. And by the time the ARCA race finished, I didn't think they were going to have enough cars to even finish the race. Brendan Queen comes home with the win, followed by William Sawalik, Jason Kitzmiller, LeVar Scott, Elio Castro Nevis, Cole Raz, AJ Moyer, Andy Jankowiak, Ryan Roulette, and Bryce Hogberg finished out the top 10. And Stuffy Memes, I'm not sure what you're referring to. That was the ARCA race, and there's a guy on YouTube whose YouTube name is Cletus. But of course, when you race, you have to use your real name. He ran his first ever NASCAR race in that ARCA race Saturday. And he's actually not a bad race car driver. He's just going to have to learn to differentiate the YouTube persona from the racing persona, but he's not a bad race car driver. And then after the ARCA race, we had the Xfinity race, which was called the United Reynolds 300, and it was won by Jesse Love, followed by Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Carson Quapple, Taylor Gray, Harrison Burton, Jordan Anderson, Dean Thompson, Jeremy Clements, and Patrick Emmerling. And by the way, NASCAR announced it. Next year, starting in 2026, Dodge makes its return. They're going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series next year and hoping to get back into the Cup Series by 2028, which tells me that, just like I've been saying here on the channel, NASCAR is on a upward trajectory. I know the old school NASCAR fans don't want to admit that. They want to, for some reason, think because since they quit watching it, NASCAR's dying. It's not. I don't think Dodge would come back into the sport if you thought the sport was going away. And then Sunday afternoon, we might have had one of the longest Daytona 500 races of all time, time-wise, because they had 2 red flags during the race. So the race ended up being about 7 hours and 35 minutes altogether. Was originally supposed to start about 2:45, ended up starting about 2:07. They were trying to get to halfway before the rains came, because if you get to halfway and the rains come, you can call it a day. They only got to run 10 laps before the rain started, but it might have been a good thing they moved it up, because had they not ran those 10 laps and started at the time they were supposed to start at, they would have never started, because the rain came first. And then by 6:30 last night Eastern time, when they finally got the track dry, they just said, you know what, it's too late to even start now. We'll just come back tomorrow and race. And it got moved to Monday last year. And you don't want to do that, because most of the fans have to go back to work on Monday. So if you move it back to Monday, you lose not only half your TV audience, but half of your actual audience at the race. So they ended up starting back finally about 6:21 Eastern time and finished about 9:42 last night. William Byron wins his second straight Daytona 500, followed by Tyler Reddick, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Briscoe, and John Hunter Nemechek, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier in that ride for Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 9th, and Chris Buescher rounds out the top 10. Now, William Byron, I don't think ran inside the top 5 or top 10 the whole race. But on the last lap, about halfway through, from about 4th place on back, there was a huge wreck, and William Byron was able to avoid it and come through and win the race. He's only the 5th driver of all time to win 2 consecutive Daytona 500s. A phenomenal race, phenomenal weekend. I'm so excited about this weekend when we're going to see 3 races all over again. Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time from Atlanta Motor Speedway, we have the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the Freight 208. That'll start again at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday afternoon. And then at 5 o'clock, right after the truck race, we'll have the Xfinity Series, Bennett, Transportation, and Logistics 250. And then on Sunday afternoon for the Cup Series, we'll have the Am Better Health 400. And all three of those races are at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The last couple of years, since they repaved Atlanta and made it a super speedway, there's been some good racing there. So I think this week's race is going to be just as good as this past weekend's race. Any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke in here. What do you call a train carrying bubble gum? A choo-choo train. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.